Female entrepreneurs, let's talk about the part of business no one warned you about. Losing yourself in the building of it, the running of it, the trying to make ends meet part of it. This is your call to come home to you. Today, we're remembering the woman behind the brand and why that remembering changes everything. That's the quiet revolution we're exploring today. Welcome to the remembering. So let's talk why we forget. Let's start with a word, remembering. You've heard it before, but probably not like this. This isn't about recalling facts or timelines or even those big or small events in our lives. It's about remembering you. Remembering, literally putting yourself back together. Soul piece by soul piece. Welcoming back what you exiled just to survive. It's about bringing back the exiled pieces of you, the wild ones, the wise ones, the quiet knowing you forgot you knew, the buried parts that need a bit of excavation. And look, we're going to talk tools too, but the sacred kind, the kind that help you dig deeper, not just do more. But here's the problem. We've been taught not to talk to ourselves, not to know ourselves. We're strangers to our own hearts, trained to keep the conversation surface level, just the outer noise, just the chaos of the day. Certainly not those deep introspective discussions that are best had in the dark with maybe a fire burning to add some mystery to the whole thing that is you. And that real you, the barefoot, rule-breaking, tree-climbing, truth-telling version of you, she's still there. But she got told to sit still, to be nice, to stop crying, to stop being weird, to play small, to do it right. And over time, we buttoned it up. We pushed it down. We pretended. We blended in. And we learned the rules. We lived them, maybe not with the joy in our hearts that we'd hoped to find in our lives. But we plugged along thinking that, that joy, it's right around the next corner if we keep going. But this is the thing. In school, at work, and especially in business, those rules come wrapped in hierarchy, strategy, and 1,000, maybe a million shoulds. We were told leadership looks like this. Success sounds like this. And we followed, and we adapted, and we fit ourselves into a frame never meant for us. Uncomfortable, ill-fitting, like those too tight pair of jeans. It's almost like we've been under a spell. But here's the spell breaker. You're not broken. Hey, you were just playing a game that didn't honor your shape, or more specifically, your heart. The world we live in, it's built on expectations. What to wear, who to love, how to show up, what to want. I want that might be today's theme, but we're sold on formulas for life, for business, for happiness. Hello, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest. Most of us, we buy in before we even know what the price really is. I did. I followed the script. I played the part. And then one day I cracked. Not shattered. I cracked open. And instead of falling apart, I fell in. Beneath all the layers, the rules, the roles, the rigid routines. There she was. Not a better version of me. Not a higher self with perfect hair and perfect affirmations. Just me. Wild, sacred, untamed. Tired, but awake and waiting. And when I talk about power, I don't mean the kind that dominates or performs. And for my nerds out there, I'm not talking about the Force either, although that would be really cool, wouldn't it? Anyway, the power I mean is the kind that roots you. It's the undergirding of that remembering, the strength. It's the reason to remember. It's that quiet, holy knowing that lives inside your heart. The one that whispers, I'm still here. The power inside your heart, the knowing, the truth, the unshakable self gives you something that no strategy, no guru, no external validation ever can. It gives you a home, not a place, not a person, but you, rooted, whole, and undeniable. Feminine power doesn't bark orders. It doesn't stomp around in big shoes and even a bigger ego. It listens, it leads, it discerns. It doesn't need to raise its voice to be heard. And that power, it's not something you earn. It truly is the remembering. Because when a woman connects to the power in her heart, she stops outsourcing her decisions to people who don't live her life. She no longer performs success. She inhabits what success means to her. She doesn't hustle for permission or play small to be liked. She becomes unshakable in her truth. And most of all, she stops gaslighting herself because she knows what she knows. And that changes everything. Relationships, business, desire, the boundaries, the rest that you choose, your creativity, and most of all, the joy. It's not about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you were before you were told or taught or learned to forget. How do you begin the journey of remembering? Well, it starts very simply with curiosity. No judgment, no fixing. Just a simple hello to the woman inside. It might look like journaling, breath work, lighting a candle maybe, and asking what I need to remember today. You can explore human design, therapy, birth month archetypes, even good old astrology. But more than anything, you listen to your heart because she's the gatekeeper, the holder of you, the wild, untamed you. Your heart is the path back, the compass that leads you to you. And that's why I created the Goddess Growth Map, to help you return to your own heart with sacred, simple steps. It's not just a tool. It's a remembering ritual. Reclaiming your feminine power doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like a pause, a breath, a decision to stop pretending. The moment you stop performing and start remembering, everything begins to shift. If this landed in your bones, subscribe to Whispers from the Wild Mystery. I share rituals, journal prompts, goddess stories, and truths I don't post anywhere else. And I don't talk about it here on the podcast. And if you're ready to see where this remembering leads, download the Goddess Growth Map. It's your personal compass to feminine power, archetypes, and soul-led living and business. You don't need to wait for a breakthrough. You are literally the threshold right now. You're not too much. You're not too late. You're right on time. And one last thing for you, a spellette, an affirmation, a mantra for you. Light a candle and speak aloud. I am not becoming. I am returning. I remember the wild one within me, and I welcome her home. Thanks for being here, where we talk business for the brave-hearted, sacred, wild, intuitive, yours.